Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Rebirth. I'm your host, Shay Marriott, and you are listening to the Rebirth on Philly Jams 95.3. Joining me tonight is my co-host.
Hey, it's your boy Eli Isabel in the building, a.k.a. the South got something to say, and we here, Philly Jams, Rebirth family. What's going on, Shay?
What's going on, man? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. We've been heard you say that. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
I beat you.
You did beat me. Absolutely. How you doing?
I am well. You know, it's another week. Blessed to be here.
That's right. That's
you know,
right.
Somebody ain't wake up this morning.
Oh, we can ready. You ready to preach?
Nah, I ain't gonna do that. Not tonight.
You okay? All right. I was great.
Call me on Sunday morning.
Okay.
I got a word. I got a wood for you. Holla at your boy.
Okay.
Between 9 and 11.
How was your weekend?
It was great, man. My family came up and we all went out to dinner and hung out. Man, listen, let me tell you something. Don't take a bunch of country folk nowhere. Ooh, child. Man. But I ain't gonna even get into all that right there. They just don't know how to act. They drink too much and they talk too loud.
Oh,
Let's
my
just say
God.
that.
That's
Now,
your family, man.
That's my folks. I love them. Hey,
you gotta love them.
I fit right on in with that.
I
So
know,
it's all good, man. But it was good. That made it an awesome weekend for me. And then Sunday, I felt like I was just surrounded by laundry.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down in the man cave, and I'm just looking around like my little spaces just get smaller and smaller every time. And where all these damn clothes come from?
Well, did you get them washed?
They got done. That's not the point. Y'all change clothes too much in this one outfit a day. Police. But
That's
yeah,
okay.
how was your weekend?
It's not good. My weekend was good. I was my spouse, boyfriend, significant other. I don't even know how to say it anymore, right? Surprised me.
Did something happen that we didn't know about? Hold on, let me see.
Oh, stop it! Surprised
Your
me and took
spouse.
me to the Maxwell concert in AC.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was nice. I had a good time.
Did he dance? Maxwell, did he do his
He
little?
killed it. He killed it.
I know he can sing his behind.
He did. He danced his butt off.
Oh, yeah?
His knee, he got mag knees.
Ooh.
He
I
got
don't know if
mag
that's a
knees.
compliment for a man.
No, I mean, you think about Maxwell's age. Think about his age.
He's
and
like our age,
he
right?
was going down low.
What up,
They
Shannon?
did this like Caribbean type, music.
Is he our age?
I don't know. Gotta look it up.
I guarantee you got some copper fit knee sleeves on. Because he ain't, at this age, he ain't doing all that, bro.
All right, Levante Dorsey.
You said it. Let it be known. Speak it into existence.
Okay, what's
press is
going
on.
on? What's going on, everybody that's joining us on Facebook. Tonight we got a good show. We have Miss Tanerra Wills is in the building. Excuse me. Before we get to her, because I want to give her the proper introduction,
Yes.
we're going to go to Right Here and Right Now.
Right here, right now. So, two things I want to discuss really quick. I'm sorry. All right, y'all know why we got that globe up there, right? I said globe. That's old school. Because just some of this information comes from around the world. So here we go.
That's true.
So last month, well, the month before last, during Black History Month, I touched on Dawn Staley. I don't know if you remember this story.
Yeah.
She was the second African American coach to win women's NCAA championship. Well, sis has done it again. This is her second one. The first one was in 2017, and she has now led the South Carolina Gamecocks to their second national championship. She is the first and only male or female African American coach to win multiple NCAA championships. So let's give it up for Philly's very own Miss Dawn Staley.
That's what's up.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And today, if you don't know, April 4th, 1968 was the day that our beloved Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated. If you don't know, I hope you do. If you don't know, he had traveled to Memphis, Tennessee to participate in a strike, a sanitation strike, to support the sanitation strike of the workers there in Memphis. And he was killed by James Earl Ray on today in 1968. So
Wow.
RIP Dr. King. And again,
Definitely.
thank you.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I got to add, too. Did you see the Grammys last night?
I didn't even know what was coming on.
So that'd be a no.
I guess so.
But, of course, Questlove from Philadelphia, also from the Roots, he had won a Grammy. And if you remember last Sunday, which he did not get a chance to really give his, his speech for the Oscars, he won an Oscar last Sunday. So he's had an amazing week this week, a Grammy and an Oscar. So shout out to Questlove. That's what's up.
Philly doing it this week.
Absolutely.
Making up for Will.
Absolutely. Jasmine Sullivan, she won her first Grammy.
Oh, wow.
I didn't realize that was her first one.
So question. I know you turned me on to her years ago.
Yes.
The first album. Which Jasmine sounds like? This is like a Luther thing. You like Big Jasmine or Little Jasmine? Which one sounds the best?
You know what?
Because I was in favor of Big Luther. I love Big Luther. I'm just asking.
Stop it. She sounds great no matter what size she
Luther
is.
sounded great no matter what. But something about Big Luther. Big Luther was like, you got to. He didn't do that when he was Skinny Luther. He only did that as Big Luther. You gotta recognize, Shay. You a music person.
Yes.
Talk to me now. What you think? Tell us what you think once we introduce you. Big Jasmine or Skinny Jasmine?
I'm staying clear of that. No comment.
Shout out to Jasmine, man. We just playing up
Jasmine Sullivan, she's amazing no matter what size she is. She's a beautiful woman. So congratulations to her as well. All right. So speaking of beautiful women, we have the amazing Tanerra Wills is in the building today, joining us with the Rebirth. A little bit about her. She is married, a mother of 10. A mother of...
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
I'm about to say her snapback crazy.
No, ma'am.
10.
No.
I'm so sorry.
I appreciate the snackback. It does run in the
She's
family.
the mother of a 10-year-old son.
So we gotta get sister on show. She coming back like that after 10.
She's the mother of a 10-year-old son, a certified pediatric registered nurse, and a CPR instructor by trade. She is also an entrepreneur in the business of online retail, where she offers inspirational and motivation products focused on lifestyle changes that lead people to transform their lives by accomplishing amazing goals one day at a time. In addition, she has published
Yes, author.
5 books, y'all.
Woo.
5 and a 3-time contributing writer to Women of More magazine.
Yes.
And you guys know Michelle Washington. She was on the show. So she's Women of More magazine. So Tanerra, you had a chance to write. Okay, I see you.
I've been making use of my time during this pandemic.
Yeah. Tanerra has a passion for coaching and mentoring, and she volunteers in coaching women at her church and mentoring teens enrolled in nonprofit organization Journey Unveiled, where she also serves as a board member. You wear a lot of hats.
Yeah. No pun intended.
Tanerra uses her social media platforms, The Amazing Corner, to offer daily inspiration and words of motivation with an aim to grow each person she engages with. Guys, welcome to the Rebirth, Miss Tanerra Wills.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I'm so sorry I gave you 9 extra kids.
Yeah. No,
My
thank you.
bad. So I know I just read your bio, but who is Tanerra Wills?
Yes.
Like many of us Black, beautiful women, all encompassing, but most importantly, just every day, just trying to be my best version of myself, trying to honor God, honor my family, and enrich the people around me.
Yes. Love that. Now, you have a spirit of wanting to help, from what I'm reading from your bio, right?
Yes.
You're mentoring teenage girls, or is it both?
Youth. Yeah.
Okay, so both. Okay, all right. So let's start there. Like, what, how is that experience with giving back to the youth, and why is it so important to be a mentor?
Yeah, it's very important because for me, I'm trying to provide something I wish I had when I was at that age. There was a lot of things I didn't know, a lot of information I wasn't aware of, resources I didn't have, role models I didn't see. So I wanted to make sure that I go back to my local community and share that, I came from just where you came from, and poverty, drugs, violence, low income, but I'm still thriving, and you can still thrive. So you don't have to be suffocated by your surroundings. You can still shine. I always say, I'm the epitome of the rose who grew from concrete, or I started from the bottom, now I'm here.
Yes.
I feel like I could just wear it on my back easily, but I want to just make sure you get to show what that looks like if you just continue to persevere.
Yeah, and it's so important, right?
Absolutely.
It's so important. It's very important that our youth see what they want to become.
Right.
And that they are connected to what they want to become.
Yeah,
Or to
representation
see.
matters.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or to see what they didn't know they could become.
Yeah,
Right.
there you go.
I think that happens more so in our community. It seems to be. We don't know that we can be these things.
Right.
So we have to have us out front, you, Shay, me out
You,
front, showing
yeah.
these kids that, you can have a nice car and not be a drug dealer.
There you
Right,
go.
right.
You can live in that big old house and no one's going to kick your door in and take
Right.
everything away. So
Exactly.
I definitely support that.
And that's funny that my husband used to drive a Jaguar, and I was working at a doctor's office, and a Caucasian doctor came in and was like, "Whose Jaguar's out front?" And I was like, "Oh, that's my husband's." And that's what he said. Should we say drug dealer? And my
Oh,
husband's
wow.
the furthest thing from it. Like, so it was like, that's the image. So I'm glad you said that.
How did you handle that?
I honestly, I froze because it came out of nowhere. I
Yeah.
was new in the practice, and I'm just like, and my husband's
Wow.
from mainline Ardmore area. He's like the furthest from it. Never
Oh.
sold a drug in his life, but that is what they think of us.
Wow.
So we got to change the narrative
Yeah.
and show more visualization.
I'm offended on his behalf right
There
now.
you go.
Exactly.
Like, are you serious?
Yeah.
That might have been my last day.
Yeah, he probably would have got probably
Yeah, he got a tongue
But you
lashing up
know,
in
you
there.
got yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
She handled it like Chris Rock. Handled that slap.
Wait,
last
I don't know
week.
if I
No,
want to
no,
be.
you don't
I don't know. No, thank you.
Pause him on that one, right?
Yeah. Words and physical is different. If I let somebody hit me, I'll never be able to live that down. Yeah, I'm gonna have to I can't go back home.
Right.
I know that's right.
I'm going back to the hood to talk to the kids. I can't go back to the hood if I let somebody put their hands on me.
I know
Just
that's
Tanerra,
right.
like you talking good game, but when you know, man.
Yeah. So I mean I want to give out a shout to a couple people that are signing on, and also I would like to give out our number. So if you have a question or comment for Miss Tanerra, please give us a call. The number is 267-908-3166. Shout out to Rella Delic, Shannon Myrick, Levante, and Miss Patricia Dixon. She said, "That's my baby." I'm so proud. Yes, Miss Dixon.
All right. Is that your mother?
Yeah, you ask her if somebody can hit me and I don't hit them back. Mom, put that in the chat.
I know that's right. I know Mama be right up here. Like, what?
My mom ride or
Yes,
die.
that's
Oh, wow.
right.
That's
Definitely
what's
go
up.
harder than some of these men out here.
That's right. That's right.
All right.
I don't blame her. So,
I ain't mad at that.
so Tanerra, you have a couple books here that you have already written, but let's get into your journey. The one book that you have. Can I see that
Absolutely.
for a second so we can hold this book up? Because I want you guys to go to her website and make sure you support her. Okay, so it's Memoirs of Almost Barren Women: Our Journey to Motherhood. All right, yeah, we have it up online. What started you to write this book?
Yeah, it's my own personal journey. It started as a journal, a way to kind of release when I was going through the experiences of infertility, not knowing a lot, not having anyone I could talk to along the way, feeling alone, isolated, shame, embarrassed, not feeling comfortable, sharing my story or experiences with anybody, not my mother, not my father, not my husband, not my best friend. It was never, when I tell the story now, I'm like, there's no person when I was actively going through it that knew the full truth. And it was because I wasn't comfortable.
Okay.
So I would sell pieces to different people
Okay.
as a safety, of feeling safe, but never feeling like no one truly understood. And I never felt comfortable. And again, I blamed myself for a part of my infertility journey. So that's another reason I wasn't comfortable sharing. So journaling kind of helped me get through it. And I knew back then I would write a book, but I just didn't know how and when.
Right.
But over the years, I would write a little, put it down, write a little, put it down, and be triggered by a memory or talking to another woman going through infertility or learn something new and add to it. So it took a while to kind of get through it, but it initially started as a resource for myself, and then after learning that 1 in 8 women deal with infertility and 1 in 4 pregnancies and a miscarriage, that more people need to talk about it.
Yeah.
So I know that a lot of things affect people in our community more so than others. Like we're at a higher rate to have this
Yes.
or higher rate to have that. What is that like as far as infertility? Are Black women affected more than other races, or is kind of about the same?
I honestly don't know the numbers and ratio. I do know that Caucasian women talk about it more frequently, and they're more quickly to seek help and assistance and resources, where Black women kind of just keep quiet and just go through it alone. But I know with infertility, like 1/3 of the cases is male factor, 1/3 of the cases is female factor, and another 1/3 is probably both the male and the female. But the disparities with Black women getting the right assistance and the right treatments so they can have more favorable outcomes with infertility is far greater.
So based upon like you writing this memoir, and I said it right, didn't I?
I
You
think
writing
you
your
did.
memoir. Did you what did you discover? Or what did you discover about other women? Once people have read this, what kind of feedback have you received in reference to, you know, what you went through?
Yeah, I've been describing it lately as a new Me Too movement because I'm like, it's 1 in 8 women. So I always think about a row or a table. Most banquet halls, we sit at a table that seats 8 to 10 people. There's one at every table and every event that you're in that's had some similar experience. So what I've experienced is they want someone to say, you know, you hear me. You understand me. I feel heard. I feel seen. I've been told that this is like a big book a big hug, or you've been able to put into words what I haven't been able to say all these years. So people are looking for an outlet and a resource and just more conversation about it so they can feel more comfortable and get more resources and awareness.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to back up a little bit because I want to make sure that everybody understand what we're talking about. We are talking about infertility, but what is infertility?
So the technical definition is not being able to get pregnant unassisted in a year. So that could be you had a miscarriage. That could be not getting pregnant and not being able to get pregnant initially, not being able to hold a baby. But anyone who's tried to get pregnant for over a year, they consider you infertile.
Okay. Now, is that solely a woman's issue or is it male or female?
Nope, it's like 30% each. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
but they say it's more women, but more women report it. More women seek help.
Okay. All right. So is there something like, okay, so if, let's say a couple is going through this, right? And we always assume that it's the woman that is the problem immediately. So does the man, when do the man get checked in, make sure his soldiers are marching? Did I say?
I would recommend initially. I think we should go through it at the same time, simultaneously.
Okay.
Unfortunately, a lot of women go first because they're more comfortable. They're more eager. Sometimes it's the male ego or the male pride or just that doubt or it can't be me.
Yeah.
And I actually had the flip side of that experience. My husband and I did go together, and in our initial consultation, the endocrinologist initially blamed my husband because I had been pregnant before. He had never had anyone pregnant. So he went on this long rant how it had to be him. And then, after testing and things of that sort, it was female factor infertility.
Okay.
But there are also a lot of women who are finding out they can't get pregnant, but the man never get tested, and then you find out later it is because of male factor infertility or a genetic disorder on the male side.
Them tight, skinny jeans too, fellas.
There you go. Alcoholism contributes to it. If you have a husband who's overweight or who drinks a lot, that could be a contributing factor as well.
Yeah, yeah. And you said that I had a baby once. So women that have had children, this can affect them as well.
Yeah, and that's called secondary infertility. And that's also just as common as primary infertility, and that's the same thing. So same definition, just means you've been able to successfully have a baby. My son will be 11 this year, and I haven't been able to successfully get pregnant unassisted without it.
Okay.
So I would be deemed as still infertile, even though I have a healthy child.
Okay. All right. What is the main cause? Do you or is there different?
Yeah, I wish it was a singular cause, but there are so many different things. We talked about alcoholism, we talked about obesity. With Black women, primarily with us, a lot of times it's endometriosis or adenomyosis could be one of the things. Fibroids, cysts, polycystic ovarian syndrome, that could be it. Unfortunately, cancer a lot of times leads to that because of all of the toxicity of the cancer treatments that you go through can lead to that. Hormone imbalances, a lot of immune disorders, a lot of medications can cause it. But for Black women, it's primarily like PCOS or endometriosis is most of the time. And a lot of times they let us deal with it. If you're noticing heavy periods, cramping, bloating, they give you like birth control pills or something just to manage the symptoms. But you can be going from one stage to another stage till you have severe endometriosis and then can no longer get pregnant unassisted.
Wow. Okay.
What about the thing about, I know like growing up, I've heard women say, they had an abortion and then later they want to conceive. Does that affect you being able to conceive later?
Absolutely. So for me, I self-diagnosed as being one of my reasons because I remember getting sick after my abortion, and I believe that I had an infection, and it builds up scar tissue. So that's my contributing factor in having blocked fallopian tubes, which is another common factor. And so that way the sperm can't get to my egg to implant it. So it can't travel up the regular course. So yes, the answer is abortions can lead to, and that's another reason why I always tell people that even teenagers should be reading this book. And I would encourage women to have a different conversation with their daughters about reproductive health and safe sex practices or abstaining from sex. A lot of times we tell people don't have sex so you don't have a baby, but you got to give a little bit more context, and then some spiritual people tell you don't have sex because that's not the way God designs it. That doesn't work. None of those things work.
Right.
You got to give people information and, make reproductive health important and, I would say broaden the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is so important, just conversation, just talking, And I think when you were talking earlier, you were saying that you felt like you kept it to yourself. You didn't want anybody to know, right? What was that feeling when you were able to start talking about it and you noticed that you were not the only one that was going through this?
Now I'm fearless with it. Initially, it was a gradual process. But what I would find is a lot of women, friends, I could tell they were going through it. There were signs. I saw some of the same signs I saw in myself, being a certain age, being with your spouse for a long period of time, not having babies, being quiet, making excuses about not having babies and things of that sort. And I would use a conversation started about telling my own story, and then they would tell their story, and then we could share resources or options, different journeys to motherhood. So it was, to answer your question, very nerve-wracking initially. I wasn't, comfortable 100%, but now it's like, I'll tell everything just to help somebody else.
How long was it before you hit your stride, where you feel comfortable talking about this, where it wasn't as emotional for you?
Yeah,
like,
it's still emotional. I literally, I think I was doing a podcast a couple of weeks ago, and I started to cry. I've shared it at church a couple of times, and I cry. I think I have PTSD related to it because I was in so much shame with it. So there's still times where I have the conversation where I get choked up and things of that sort. But I would say about 3 years in, I started not to care, but that's when I started to learn more. So information is power.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I think back then it was 1 in 10 women, and then now in 2022 it's 1 in 8 women. It's like, why should I be ashamed?
And I was going to ask you, what was the shame for you?
Yeah, part of it was just because I thought I blamed myself because of abortion as a teenager, having unprotected sex and deciding to opt to have abortions because I wasn't financially and emotionally prepared to raise a child. So I blamed myself. I thought, now with my husband who's so deserving and so honorable and such a good man, and I can't give him a child. So just, it was self-blame. Nobody blamed me. Not a doctor, not my spouse, not my family or friends. It was just, you're getting your own thoughts and your own feelings. You create your own narrative sometimes. And sometimes it could be at your own detriment.
Absolutely, yeah. I think we do that a lot, period, as Black women, because we are looked at as to be, so strong and all of these things. But, just to be able to grant yourself forgiveness,
grace,
grace, right? Because we'll do that for others, but we won't do that for ourselves. We have to forgive ourselves, and we are worthy of that grace and being able to move forward. And look what God has blessed you, and I'm happy that you're here. We met through Women of More, and again, just that networking and that fellowship, and I heard her story a little bit. I'm like, hey, come on to Rebirth. Come on. We want to have this conversation because that's what it's about. So again, thank you for coming on. We have a couple comments. Anissa Miles says, very informative. Thanks for sharing, Tanerra.
You're welcome.
Yes. And Reladelic says, nice hat. She fly. She is fly. Guys, if you want to call and speak to Tanerra, if you have a comment or question, please give us a call at 267-908-3166. Again, that's 267-908-3166. You are listening to the Rebirth on Philly James 95.3. We are going to keep it going.
Yeah.
What you say?
So I was just wondering, men, when men think that they are possibly the issue, and I don't know how your husband handled it, but from what you've learned by going through this process, how do most men handle this? Like, I know that we're men in our ego. We pretty much live in survival on that. Yeah. Most of us do. So how from your experience, how do men handle this when it's them?
Yeah, I don't know if I fully have the answer because again, men don't talk about it. And in my journey in the book towards the end, I tried to reach out to a few men that I knew had the experience to get their story, and no one was really comfortable sharing. I know, like you said, it's definitely pride and ego. For my husband, he had if that's not God's plan for us, then that's just not God's plan. Yeah. And he was okay, not seeking treatment, not adopting, not fostering. For most women, that's not okay. Right. So for him, it was just a coping mechanism just to move forward, to move on.
Yeah, yeah. I know with us, and it is. It's a lot of ego. It's a lot of pride. It's a lot of, it ain't me. My men work. I work. Everything is in order. So, and this is denial. Yeah. And we do that not only with this particular subject, but with mental health stuff too. Yeah.
And it's a lot of cultures, like the Jamaican culture, the Asian cultures. Men are shunned if they can't produce kids or produce a male child.
Yes. Especially in the Asian culture.
Yeah.
But we don't shun these dudes that have 8, 9 kids.
Right. And don't take care of them.
I don't get that. See, we
How about that?
Backwards out here.
That's a whole show. That's a whole nother show.
Start shunning them.
Yes. Yes.
Focus.
Absolutely.
Right. But it keeps me and you employed.
There you go.
That's true.
And, silver lining and everything. My mom says a silver lining and everything.
That's true. That is definitely true. I guess to kind of piggyback off of that, was there how did your husband handle this journey with you?
Yeah. Initially, he was afraid, especially when we thought it was him. We talked about it. And honestly, I think he went into it more so thinking it was him because he hadn't ever had anyone pregnant before. But he was very supportive. He actually used to help me give myself the injections. He went to the majority of appointments with me. He journaled, he took pictures, things like that sort.
Nice.
But the emotional aptitude is different between a male and a female.
Right.
They're always good, quote unquote.
Right,
but we aren't.
Yeah. So sometimes you don't feel that you could be emotionally vulnerable. Because if it's not being reciprocated or if it's not being duplicated. And again, I'm doing this quietly at home. My mother, I think the last 2 years was when she really found the full journey. Even my father, I never knew. So I didn't have anyone to be 100% vulnerable with. So, I would just be quiet. I had to journal.
Yeah. How your mom found out, you said, 2 years ago?
Yeah, if it's been 2 full years. Yeah, she learned a lot after the book came out.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how did she respond? Did she?
Definitely always loving and supportive. My mom is one of my greatest cheerleaders, but saddened. I didn't know. I wish I could know. And then she did. Right. Like when I was pregnant and going to the doctors, she would, rub my feet and, do anything for me. But it was like not wanting to talk about it was a reason why I didn't share. Not wanting to be asked questions, scared it wouldn't work, So you have to be vulnerable in these experiences. So it was like a protective mechanism not to share.
Absolutely.
Or people offer solutions, and sometimes the solutions are trigger or saddening because they're offering solutions without facts or without actually being able to provide a resource for you. But it's it's out of love, but it still doesn't always feel good.
Yeah. Very true. Man. Wow. Well, you are listening to the Rebirth on Philly Jams 95.3. Yes, it is heavy stuff. It is heavy stuff. We have the beautiful Mrs. Tanerra Wills is here, and she is talking about her journey of infertility. Yeah. So, guys, make sure you check out her book. And this is only one of the books. She has several other books, and we're definitely going to talk more about it when we come back from the commercial.
Hey guys, it's your girl, Shay Marriott, the host of the Rebirth Show. I want to give you a look behind the scenes where we have so much fun here on the Rebirth Show. We come to you every Monday night at 7 p.m. and we bring their energy. We're just not showing you on the radio, but we're also showing you behind scenes. We're family here. If you would like to be a guest of the Rebirth Show, make sure you hit me at info@rebirthu.com.
And it is Monday, man. These weekends be going by quick.
I know. Who was the genius that said we work 5 days and be off 2? Who was that fool?
Probably was a man.
Wow, a clear one.
Every 3 seconds, a woman is murdered by an intimate partner due to domestic violence. A damaged self-worth, distorted thoughts, and fear can keep a woman trapped. It's time to renew. 50% of marriages end in divorce. Loss of identity, security, and financial instability can cause a person to grieve a relationship as if they are grieving death. It's time to rebuild. Only 10% of Americans dealing with addiction receive treatment. More than 20% of Americans with anxiety disorder also suffer from a drug use disorder. People addicted to prescription drugs are 40 times more likely to become addicted to heroin. It's time to restore. Life happens to all of us, no matter race, gender, or age. You will be challenged to rediscover who you are meant to be, and what purpose you are meant to serve. Starting over after a life crisis, 12-step online course will help you rebuild, restore, renew, and rebirth the new version of yourself. It's never too late to start over and rewrite your story. Sometimes we have to die a little inside in order to be reborn. The Rebirth.
Welcome back to the Rebirth on Philly Jams 95.3. I'm your host, Shay Marriott, and my co-host.
Hey, Miss Eli Isabel, we are here. Such an awesome guest tonight.
Yes. And she is fly. She came in here fly, like she great hit the runway, you know. Miss Tanerra Wills is in the building, and we are talking about the journey of infertility. You have a lot going on. Before we get back on the infertility, you have a mental wellness,
a health and wellness
event that's coming up.
Yes.
Okay.
Town in Middletown, I'm hosting my second annual health and wellness event on June 18th at Doc Levison Park on Doc Levison Drive in Middletown, Delaware. It's a free community event. We're going to have all types of resources, fun activities for the kids, free giveaways and raffles. We have free fitness training. Right now we have a free certified fitness trainer who's going to give us free strength training and also free kickboxing training. Oh, wow. We have the YMCA coming out who's going to do a free fitness training for the kids, free bouncy houses, so many cool things, free blood pressures by Black Nurses Rock, Delaware.
Okay.
So we're still in the planning phase, but we're already have an amazing lineup. So definitely come out 9 to 12, June 18th at Doc Levison Park.
Okay, awesome. Wow. Is this something you do every year?
So this is my second year.
Okay.
So it's part of my booked birthday weekend. My birthday's June 21st. So shout out to all the people born in June. Best month of the year, I'm just going to say. And I know at the beginning of the year, everybody's on their health and wellness kick. In the middle of the year, we usually fall off. So it's kind of a boost to kind of connect with people and give us some resources and some energy to get back on it. Because health and wellness should be a continuing journey and not just a New Year's resolution.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. That's good. Well, we're actually sharing it now, and they can find this on Eventbrite.
Yes. And please register. We want to make sure we have enough staff, enough giveaways, enough volunteers.
Yes.
So register so we can keep our eyes on those numbers.
All right, let's do it.
Absolutely. All right. So we're going to get back into the conversation, and then we're going to move the conversation towards the book that you wrote with your son. Yes. All right. So the question that I have for you was, how many times, or I know you probably, I guess it's different for every person.
Yeah, it's definitely different for every person, and it definitely depends on the factor, and then how well your body takes it. For some women, it usually takes upwards of 3 or more rounds of
Okay.
IVF. I was one of the blessed people. I say it all the time. I was successful with one round of IVF, but that's not common.
Yeah.
I was just watching Gabrielle Union. She talked about going through 8 rounds of IVF, and none of them were successful, and she had to use surrogacy. So it is something that's a big emotional burden and medical burden.
Yeah.
I always say it's a health crisis.
Yeah, because I'm thinking like 8 rounds of, because you're injecting yourself, right?
It depends.
Okay.
There's different methods. Is interuteral
Okay.
insemination. You do have to inject yourself with different kind of medications to kind of prepare your body for it. Hormones like Lupron and things like
Right.
that take you through different cycles. It simulates menopause. So all of that is different.
Yeah,
It's different.
I can definitely
Yeah.
definitely believe that plays a lot on a person
Yeah.
emotionally and mentally.
And it's a big financial burden.
Yeah.
How long is a round of the injections? How long do you have to do that?
Oh, and I don't remember again because I'm about 11 years out. Thank you, God. But it's like I would say about anywhere from 6 weeks to a couple months.
Okay.
And some people need different courses of medication treatment. So again, depending on the factor, you might need 1 or 2 medications, or you might need several medications to prepare your body. One of the things I needed to do, I'm sorry. One of the things I needed to do was kind of, like I said, simulate menopause. So that was to help kill off the extra cysts I had in my body. So that was an extra step on top of preparing my body for fertility.
Okay, wow. We got a call coming in. Hello, caller. Thank you for calling into the Rebirth. Can you please say your name and your question?
Yes, this is Jasmine Dixon from DC, and I just wanted to call and kind of share my story with infertility and hopes that it may help someone.
Oh, thank you, Jasmine.
Hi, Jasmine.
Sure, go ahead and share.
I'll tell you guys, I am 34 years old. I've been divorced, met the man of my dreams, got married, and decided we wanted to try for a baby. Well, we tried. We weren't successful. We tried, and then we were successful. And about 2 months after that, we found out that we miscarried. I essentially had been carrying a baby for 10 weeks, and it had died at 8 weeks. And come to find out, I had fibroids. And what happened was the fibroid grew bigger, and the baby did not. All the blood supply went to the fibroid and not the baby. So every doctor that I saw, OBGYN, they didn't want to do a surgery because they're saying, okay, the fibroids are on the outside, they're not on the inside of your uterus, so we don't think you need surgery. So I ended up going to a fertility specialist who said, you're a great candidate for IUI. We don't really want to get to IVF, but you got to get those fibroids out of there. You might have some endometriosis. So he referred me to an OB. Because he didn't want to do, like a myomectomy as a specialist, because it's much more expensive when you go to a specialist. So he recommended I go back to an OB. Did that, had a surgery, myomectomy, where they moved about 9 fibroids. It looked like a whole solar system. And he told me, wait 6 months. And we can give you some medication right now to put your body in menopause, just to kind of make sure everything kind of clears up and goes back the way it's supposed to. Or you could do birth control, or you could do nothing. So something didn't set right with me about going and prematurely putting my body in to menopause. Right. So I decided to do nothing. 6 months later, I went just to make sure everything was healing so we could try to, get pregnant again. Come to find out that surgery actually scarred one of my fallopian tubes. So I'm at another crossroad, and, basically I only have one tube that works. And, we've been trying for now 2.5 years to have a baby. So we made a decision to try to do, and I skipped over some stuff. We did a couple rounds of IUI in between. It didn't work. So we went to IVF. And long story short, we got pregnant on the first try. We had 3 boy embryos. Got pregnant on the first try, and today I have a 6-month baby.
Wow.
Oh, praise God.
There we
Congratulations.
go. There we
Yeah.
go.
And that just goes to say that, don't let the doctors deter you. Don't, let your own mind deter you. With God, all things are possible because it
Yes.
just kind of seemed it was one thing after another. It seemed that, I wouldn't be able to conceive. And just, with all of those things happening to my body, it worked. And not only did it worked on the first try.
Yes.
So, if you are someone who is struggling with infertility, keep that faith. Always have hope because it is possible. Mindset is everything.
That's awesome. That's
Wow,
awesome.
So I
is
just wanted
awesome.
to share that.
Thanks for
Congratulations.
sharing
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
Thank you.
that. And I was glad she said
Yeah.
that, offering a message of hope. So that's what the book is about. We got
Yes.
6 women who get together because we talked about my story, but there's 5 other stories in here because it is different journeys and different pathways. And ultimately, we all leave a message of hope to encourage you to continue on your journey and believe for that
Yeah.
desire.
Yeah. I love when we talk about things. You know what I'm saying? You coming on here, Tanerra, and this young lady that called and shared her story, it opens up dialogue,
Right.
conversation. You're not alone. We go through things. We all go through things, right? But I mean, to be able to just talk about it and have other people just say, "Hey, I've gone through that, you
Yeah.
know, and I'm struggling with that, you know, and you may be on the other side of it,
Right.
but that person may be in the beginning or the
Right.
middle, right?
Right.
And that hope is there.
It
You know what I'm
normalizes the
saying?
conversation.
It normalizes the
Yeah.
conversation, it normalizes not, the shame, the blame,
Right.
all of that, being able to
Be able to
forgive
shed
yourself.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It opens up our options.
Yes, absolutely. So very, very happy about that. That was an awesome story. Thank you for calling up and sharing that with us. Absolutely. So we have a couple comments coming in, and then we're going to move on to your next book. Anissa Miles says, shout out to Anissa. She says, Shay, love the commercial and discussion. Morning rally here. Morning rally's in the building. Hi,
Yes.
Anissa. All right. Okay. Sis says, congratulations. Dr. Jamila Smith says, absolutely. Tony what is that? Tony Germany says, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes. So, Eli, you want to introduce the next book?
Yes. So I found out during a commercial break that I completely wasted 18 months during the pandemic because our guest had the nerve to write 4 books.
Five.
5 books
That's
during
right.
the pandemic. So let me know how I just bummed it out. Appreciate you for that. Glad my self-esteem intact. However, her most recent book is called The Amazing Wetheads. First adventure. This was the jewelry store heist.
That's right.
This was written with her son, Shay Wills Jr.
Shay.
Shay Wills Jr. and Miss Tanerra here. So, we got it up on the screen. Awesome.
Hey, good images there.
Yes.
Good job.
Tell us a little bit about this awesome book that you and your son put together.
Yeah, so my son at 7, I always say, you guys share it like I'm always busy. So even back then, I was like super busy. So I would want to make sure every time we had time together that it was quality because we didn't always have quantity. And one day we were leaving swim class. I was washing his hair and I was trying to engage him. And that was another thing. I'm always trying to engage him in a purposeful way without him knowing that I'm trying to implant something in him. So I'm washing his hair and I'm like, if you could be a superhero, what kind of superhero would you be? And what would his name be? And what are some things that he'd be able to do? And after that, he just took it and ran with it.
Oh, I
He
love
kind of
it.
just went and
I
told me,
love it.
one story and one sequence after another. And it was a full action adventure. And it had a beginning and an end and a plot, and a twist. I'm like, this is a, I was like, hold on, we got to write this down. So we
Yes.
ran out of the bathroom. I found an old composition book and I'm like, and what happened? And what happened? So this was the story he told and we just adapted it
Oh,
into
that's
a picture book.
awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
That is nice.
And
Sparked from, but that's the thing, a conversation, but you
Yeah.
engaged him,
Yeah.
And
then at that age, between
Wow.
7 and 10, boys are so imaginative and
Mhm.
expressive. He does it all the time. Pick him up from school, he tells me the longest stories. I'm like, Lord have mercy.
All the way home.
So it had to pay off in some way,
right. Oh my
Making
goodness.
it work for me.
So you turned this into a book. I know Che is like, being able to see his name
Yeah.
on a book. Like, how is he feeling about this?
He's a little cookie. I'm trying to, keep him humble, Just a week or two ago, he was in school and they had him to dress up like a celebrity or something. So he asked the teacher, do authors count? And the teacher said, yeah. He's like, all right, I'm dressed up as myself.
That's right, Trey.
So
right,
he
let
was
it
the
be
only
known.
kid not in simulation of anyone else. He dressed up like himself.
Oh, wow.
But I was happy. He stood up for himself. So he likes it. Initially, he was afraid to share the story and to read the
Wow.
story in public. And that's been another journey for us to get him more comfortable speaking in public and sharing.
Right.
Most recently, over the past 2 years, we've been sharing the book. And I always read it, and I always do the presentations, and he gets to ad-lib and answer questions.
Right.
But
That's dope.
in
It is dope, right?
January, I had to go on a trip, and he had a book reading, so he had to do it himself for the first time,
Oh, wow.
which was good for both of us. I was able to cut the strings because I would have saved him again.
Yeah.
And he was able to read in front of 92 kids at a Spears
Awesome.
school in Newark, and that's a bigger
Awesome.
group than I've read in front of. So he's like, "Mom, I don't
Nice.
need you anymore." I'm like,
Okay.
"All right."
Was he 4th grade? What grade is he in?
He's in 5th grade.
5th grade.
Yeah.
Wow. Good
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
So he's
wow.
growing.
Now, how can people? Where can they purchase this? I know they
Yeah.
can go to your website.
Yeah, you can definitely
right?
go to theamazingcorner.com. But if I know everybody loves our Amazon Prime shopping. It's definitely available on Amazon, or if you have a favorite online retailer like Barnes and Noble, Target, Walmart, Books A Million, BlackBabyBooks.com. You can definitely find it.
Okay, awesome. This
I
is
wanna-
great.
Yeah, I definitely. I want to maybe talk to you about my job. This is something that we could, these black authors and these black faces in our classrooms. I think.
Oh
would be
yeah,
dope. So
we love it.
we
Yeah.
can talk afterwards.
I look forward to
Look
it.
at you, just making connections. Go ahead.
wheels is
on.
turning.
Yes.
It's all about the babies.
Absolutely. Now, there's other additions here.
Yeah.
Right?
So my son is in Townsend Middle School, Middletown, Delaware. It's a Spanish immersion program. And during the pandemic, before they figured out what to do with the kids with virtual learning, I had him translate 1 page a day in Spanish. So he was able to
Wow.
translate this himself into Spanish. And then we had it edited by one of my bilingual girlfriends and also his Spanish teacher, just for accuracy.
Oh, wow.
Oh, they love him down there, don't they?
You know,
They better.
listen, he a little celebrity.
So yes, and we
Yes,
also
he
have
is.
it in a coloring book version. And in our coloring book, in addition to having the pictures from the picture book, we made sure we included kids of different diverse ages, backgrounds, and doing different activities. So we don't just have to see ourselves doing football and basketball. So we
Right.
have coders,
Right.
we have surfers, we have ballerinas in there, we have hip hop dancers, just to show that you could be amazing no matter who you are and what you do. You don't have to be
Absolutely.
a carbon copy of anyone else.
Yes.
God made us all amazing, and to share your gifts with the world.
Absolutely. That is so awesome.
And
That
you know
is
what's
so-
great? I think it's so awesome for his self-esteem.
Yeah.
Because when he becomes 12 and 13 and puberty's hitting, he's gonna already know who he is. He's not gonna be. There won't be a lot of self-doubt.
I'm an author.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he can speak to that. And now he's speaking in front of all these other
Yes.
kids. That's confidence out the yin yang. I mean,
I hope so.
That
That's
is-
the goal. That's what mommy's trying to work on.
man.
Yeah, and you know what? The thing is, like, that's a perfect example of just engaging with your kids, right? And meeting them where they are. You took a conversation, just a simple question. If you was a superhero,
Yeah.
what would you be called?
Yeah.
But I got a question before we end for you that I've been asking my guests. But like just that simple question, we have to go deeper. We got to stop saying, how was your day? How was school? Like kids
yeah.
are fine. No, give them questions that they're actually going to talk
Right.
about.
And I actually learned that from some other
Yeah.
forum. I forget, so I'm always trying to be creative because they will just say fine, good, okay. And for instance, the other day I said, so what disappointed you today? And he was able to tell me of a moment where
That's
he was
good.
disappointed. So I've been trying to use that. So I do
Yes.
encourage that to other
That's
moms
good.
and dads to ask a different question.
Yeah.
And you're doing it early, so
absolutely.
he's already now comfortable talking to
Yeah.
you about his emotions and feelings, especially for a boy.
Yeah.
That's very important.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
all right.
definitely. Let's look at some of the comments
And
here.
she hit him with the Jedi mind trick earlier, though, when she said, I'm going to engage him without knowing he's been engaged.
Right, right.
Always.
So, young man, this is going to be your entire life with women. The Jedi mind trick will be coming, and you won't even know it. Next thing you know, you're at the altar.
No, they got to come through mom first.
All right,
That's
I believe
right.
it.
That's right. Dr. Jamila Smith, I believe this comment was from the conversation we were speaking on earlier about infertility. She says, share experiences and let others know there is hope on the other side. Absolutely. Thank you. Aretha Ferguson says, awesome. Jennifer Marshall says, love it. And Anissa Miles says, job well done,
Yeah.
Tanerra.
Thank you, everybody.
Yes. Sis says, that is incredibly dope. Well done and kudos on the books.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And Priscilla Isabel says, love it. Yes, you got a lot of support.
I
A lot of
appreciate it.
support, guys. Make sure you go to theamazingcorner.com
You got it. Yeah.
and purchase the book. You also have apparel on there as well,
Yeah,
right?
So all of our merchandise is meant to inspire and encourage. But yeah, so right now our most recent T-shirt is our potential to stack dough. My husband is, I want to say a financial guru because he's not by trade a financial advisor, but excuse me, he is definitely good with money management, and he's conformed my son and I to be on budgeting and financial wealth and reducing debt and things of that sort. And we've been able to grow astronomically in that
Nice.
realm. So we're starting to share that message as well.
Okay.
That's
All
what's up.
right.
I'm just
Yes.
putting this website in here so
That's
I can
important. Yeah.
do
Definitely.
what I need to do later on.
Definitely. So what do you have? What's next for you? What's
Yeah, well, the health and wellness fair, that's my baby. I'm waiting to see that come successfully. But I just want to grow the Amazing Wethead brand. He has another book that I've been haven't published for him yet. Still
Okay.
working on that, but definitely want to continue the mantra to be amazing, be your best version of yourself.
Yeah.
That's our tagline. So we just want to grow around that. We want to do paraphernalia, merchandise, and things like that. So we're trying to grow.
what keeps you going, Tanerra?
My son.
Okay.
My son, definitely. So she's the trigger. Now I'm trying to choke back the tears.
It's
But
okay.
I always say, this book right here, this is what started, reminded me who I was and all of the
Yes.
dreams and goals. And because I want him to be the best version of himself,
Yes.
I'm challenged to be the best version of myself.
Yes.
So,
Absolutely.
I can't swim, so he's been in swim class since 9th grade. I mean, 9 months old. So it's like I'm trying to correct the things that I
Right.
didn't have the exposure to. I grew up in a project, and now he's in in the suburbs in a home. But we have to teach him how you get here and how you keep
That's
it.
right.
Right.
That's right.
Most recently, listened to the radio this morning. There was some commercial about a 30-year-old without a car, and he like, what? So again,
They exist.
yeah, we're engaging him. So I said, you know how that happened, right? Poor money management, no exposure, not saving, having debt, so we can keep the conversation going.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
right now he's teaching me about stocks from his dad, and he and his dad have stock meetings once a month.
Oh, that's
And when
awesome.
I try to
Wow.
talk about it, he's your mom, you don't know what you're talking about. So just, so I had to get on board because they're killing it.
Oh man,
That's
this
what's
is
up.
it is. It really is. You are really not just doing the work with people in the community and everything, but you're doing the work within your family.
Mm-hmm.
And you're showing your son things that a lot of kids have not had the opportunity to
Adults.
experience,
Yeah.
adults, or even talk about on
Right.
top
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah,
you
we got
know?
it later in life, so it's
Yeah.
time to share it. And that's what I heard from God, a little bit ago, and He was like, "It's not about you." So that's why I've been, eager to get out and share and expose people. And, through my Motivational Mondays, I do a Motivational Monday
Absolutely.
every day on my Instagram. Every Monday on my Instagram. And I
Okay.
just share some things to kind of keep people motivated and keep people going. We're all going to go through barriers or
Yes.
challenges. We're going to hit bumps. We're going to hit roads. We're going to have trauma. We're going to be disappointed,
Absolutely.
but you got to keep going.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm so glad we had this
I'm happy to be
conversation.
here.
I'm so glad that we got connected,
Yeah.
and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm very proud of you. Yeah, I know I get choked up when I
know.
talk about my sons. I have 2 sons, and they're my babies,
Yeah.
and I know how hard I go for mine, So it's important for them to see that,
Yeah.
And
we don't want to
Yeah.
continue the narrative of the dressed up dummies.
yeah.
Right.
Never.
Right.
I don't even like that catchphrase that's going around, my broke bestie. I don't call my son broke. My
Yeah.
son rich.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
he
my
got
son
a
is
check coming
rich.
in. Don't
Yeah.
play.
Yeah. Our office, he has more cash than me. So, so be careful what we're speaking into the lives
Yeah.
of our youth.
Yes, absolutely. Does he have he mentioned what he wants to be, or
Yeah, he wants
when
to be a
grows?
TV director.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he shall be.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Wow.
he shall be. He has
So
a
when
great
people
start.
ask him if he wants to be an author, he says, no, my mom wanted to be an author. I want to be a TV director. So
Yeah.
That's what's up. Then he can interview you. Have you on his show.
yeah, exactly.
Sis Liv says, hell yeah, on the stock meetings. More bonds and less Balenciagas.
Yes, I love it. I'm feeling that. Is
That's what's
that
up, sis.
trademark? That copyrighted, I love that. More bonds and less Balenciagas. That's
Right.
amazing.
That's a T-shirt.
That is
It is a t-shirt.
amazing. That's the truth.
That is real talk.
Tony Germany says, so positive. I love it.
Yeah, that's
Keep
my-
up the good work,
That's my
Tanerra.
cousin. She's one of the people I live
Awesome.
with growing up. And you always
Awesome.
got to give them the roses, you know.
Yeah.
Wearing their
Yeah.
clothes, eating their food, sleeping on their bed.
Oh,
So
nice.
you got to be
nice.
grateful and thank you. Thank you, Tony. Love you.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, that's what's up.
So I have a question before we let you have your last words. If there was one song
Uh-oh.
that could play every time you entered into the room for the rest of your life, what would be that song?
Jesus. I got to just one.
Just one.
She said she's an album.
Yeah. I would probably say Alabaster Box by CeCe Winans.
Okay.
Or It Keeps Happening for Me. I can't say one.
Okay. Okay. All right. So
Yeah.
remember, this song would be, this is who you are when you walk in.
I would say
every
CeCe
time.
Winans Alabaster Box. It's about
Okay.
that treasure oil that she had that she gave up. It said you don't know the cost.
Oh, this is
Yeah.
right here. Okay, it's
Look,
playing in the
she just
headphones.
got it that
don't
quick.
do that. I ain't gonna be able to keep my composure. Yeah, that's it.
That's it, huh?
Yeah, that gets me
Yeah.
because we've been through a lot.
Yeah.
So you know, just want to worship at his feet because I made it through with his grace.
Yes, you did.
Amen.
Yes, you did.
That's
Thank
right.
you so much.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you so much. Everybody, please, please make sure you
Support.
support theamazingcorner.com. I would say go there and purchase the book. But again, like he said, if you are a person that wants it tomorrow, then you will go to Amazon Prime and purchase the book. However you do it, please purchase. Please support Black-owned businesses. This is an amazing woman.
Yes.
She's doing amazing things. And I celebrate you. And thank you so much
Thank you
for
guys.
coming
Thank
to the
you for
Rebirth.
having me. I
Yeah, thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Whatever
Coming through,
you
definitely.
need from us, whatever it is that you need us to do, whatever you have coming out, please let me know. Shoot it to me, and I'll make sure that we,
Y'all gotta
put it out
come
there.
stream from the health fair.
Yeah, yeah. That would be
definitely.
great.
Yeah, we'll come through.
I might be away, but you still can do it. you still can do it. I might be away. I think I have the retreat.
We'll work,
We'll work
Yeah,
work it out.
I'm going to
Appreciate
double
you.
check on that day, though.
Cool.
June 18th?
Thank you guys. Yes.
That's June 18th?
That's it, yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah, if I personally can't be there, we'll make
We'll
sure
make it
somebody
happen.
from my camp is there.
I look forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, everybody,
Yes.
for tuning in tonight. Miss Anissa
Calls,
says, thank
comments.
you, Philly Jams. Great job.
Yes,
Thank you
amazing
so much.
experience.
Yes, yes. Thank you, guys. And make sure you tune in every Monday at 7 p.m. We bring amazing people on here. This was a great conversation. And also, thank you for the caller for calling up and sharing your story.
Yeah.
We
Right,
love
yeah.
it. Thank you
Appreciate
so
the
much.
openness. That
Yes.
was
Courageousness.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Any last words?
Just be amazing. God made you amazing just how you are. Don't worry about being a carbon copy of anybody. Don't worry about duplicating nothing that you see or standing up to anyone's standards. Be the best version of you. If you mess up today, there's always tomorrow. Don't give up on yourself.
You better say that again.
Amen.
Yes.
Oh, all right.
If you mess up today, there is always tomorrow. Absolutely. Thank you guys for tuning into the Rebirth. Have a blessed night.
Peace.
Follow us on Instagram. Follow me at Philly Jam 95.3 FM.